Hi, I'm Jennifer Sir. Welcome to the Sewing Room and our Jobs in Fashion series. Today, we're speaking with Milwaukee-based designer Lyn Kream about the job of drag costume designer. I'm so excited to hear all about this job. So without further ado, here's my interview with Lyn. Okay. Hi, Lyn. Welcome to the Sewing Room.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to talk to you today because I don't think I've ever met anyone who designs for drag, which is super cool. They're always the best costumes.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing anything more fun, more exciting.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started?
Um, okay, back in the olden days, back in the 80s, I was a little punk rock girl. I was a little goth kid and couldn't find clothes that I wanted to wear at Target. So I learned how to sew on my mom's 1951 Singer. My grandma taught me a few things, and I was always a little different, little theatrical. So I started out for myself. Then I had a friend that wanted to do drag, and so we dressed him up in a little red number that I put together, and that was the start of a really fun, magical career.
Now, designing drag costumes is only one part of your current job schedule. What are some of the other jobs that you're doing as well?
In my day job, my muggle job, I am a draper and costume coordinator at the Milwaukee Ballet Company. I design and build for the Milwaukee Ballet School and Academy, and also for our second company, MB2, for their two annual shows.
Does that mean you know how to make those fancy tutus?
I do. I am a tutu maker by trade. I've been doing that since 2005 is when I started building tutus and dance costumes.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that later. Yeah, my business is actually right next to a little business called the Tutu School,
Oh,
but it's all really little girls and
oh,
boys who are like
okay.
maybe like 3 to 6 years old. It's very cute.
Oh, and
Very, very
it's
cute.
super cute.
Yeah. Okay. So for um for for drag costumes, what kind of services do you offer?
I consider myself a full service lady. Anywhere from I'll take your measurements for another designer. We'll talk about like I may have a client that is adept at sewing but has, a hard time jumping off, and I'll help them get a project together, all the way from sketch, drape, and build um, of my own design. It's usually a collaborative effort. And I think that's one of my favorite things about being a drag designer. This is a persona or a character that someone has honed over time, and that you get to be a part of that journey. It's pretty great. But everything from fabric selection to build to even lifetime alterations and cleaning of garments.
Wow, that's a lot. That is full service. Do people come to you or do you work remotely?
Um, most of my business people do come to me. My business is mostly on word of mouth. I have costumed queens across the country. I have costumed queens internationally. Um, but my bread and butter are generally our local queens. They've become kind of a family, and we kind of work together in our little groups.
And you've had some costumes on RuPaul's Drag Race as well, right?
I have.
That's super exciting. How did that come about?
Back about 2010, I was at UW Milwaukee. At 40, I decided to go back to school and get some paper behind what I do, and I majored in costume. No, Nanette. I met a young man named Brian Furcus who decided he wanted to do drag. He became Trixie Mattel, and he auditioned for RuPaul's Drag Race, and I built his season 7 package. Um, I would say about 80% of that was work that we did together. And just from word of mouth, I've done 7 seasons of Drag Race.
That's amazing. That's so cool. Um, so what kind of training have you had? Speaking about going back to school, what's your training look like?
The majority of I'm mostly grandma taught. So I kind of learned from my grandma, learned from my mom. Um, my dance costuming was kind of a have to learn. I kind of taught myself from books, and then YouTube came along and I learned a lot from YouTube tutorials. And then in 2009, I decided to go to back to school and decided I wanted to pursue theatrical costuming. And so I wanted to learn industry standards. So I already knew how to sew, but I picked up painting and dyeing, costume crafts, millinery, and things like that at UW Milwaukee. And I finagled my way into the ballet, and that's just kind of a daily learning experience from there as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. I got to go to the SF Opera recently and
Oh,
back um into their workspace for the costuming, and yeah, they're doing everything there. They do everything from scratch, all the
mhm.
tailoring and draping and making the hats, and so I can imagine it's very similar but slightly different with the ballet,
Yeah.
where you're probably making the tutus and the costumes for the specific roles. Do those costumes get used again?
Oh, absolutely. Our first ballet that we ever did was Coppelia back in 1970. We still use those costumes. They are 54 years old in September.
Wow,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yep. And so that's the majority of our time in the costume shop is refurbishing and maintaining those old costumes. Our 1983 Swan Lake, our 1998 Nutcracker was just retired for a new Nutcracker. From the audience, you could not tell that they were more than a day old. Up close, you can see the love that goes into our costumes.
Wow. And then with drag costumes, are they wearing these costumes more than once, or is it typically a one-time situation?
It depends on the queen. There are queens that will wear something till you can't stand seeing it anymore. Um, things that are worn on Drag Race, you may see on the show, and then they may wear them once the show airs, like in a bar for like a viewing party or something. Those things will get worn once or twice. A pageant piece may get worn, but you'll see it on another queen down the road because they tend to sell them or rent them out to one another. So I've made a pageant gown that back in maybe 2010 that I'm still seeing to this day. Now it has a sleeve, now it has different sequins or different stoning, but yep, the pieces, if they're made well, live on.
That's fantastic. Um, how do clients find you, and how do you find clients?
A good deal of my clients, like I said, are word of mouth. I work for somebody, they see it, like, ooh, who made that for you? Or I'm on Facebook. I get a lot of clients from Facebook. As an old internet disabled woman, I'm just learning Instagram. So, I have kids and my grandson helps me with Instagram.
That's good. Yeah, my students help me with all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
Like
trying
my
to get
daughter.
them.
Yeah. Um, what does it look like to work with you? So when a queen wants something made, what do they do?
Um, Generally we'll chat back and forth, kind of getting ideas. Um, Most of my clients will have like a reference photo from something, a costume they've seen or something from a movie or a gown they saw at the Oscars, and they'll send me inspo pictures. I have some queens that will sketch but have no idea how to make that come to life. And so there's usually a pretty deep conversation period, a little consultation. Most of the time they come here. I do very thorough measurements because nobody wants to do 1,000 fittings. I have dress forms in almost every size and I pad them. Regular clients, I have forms that are padded to their size. And then I'll come up with an estimate on time and research fabrics. And then they say yes, and I go.
Wow, that's great. And how long does it usually take to go from design to creation?
And again, it just totally depends. I would say if I can devote, you know, full time to drag costuming, I can probably pump out a pretty elaborate costume in about a week.
Hmm.
There's
Cool.
some that are 2 to 3 weeks. It just depends on the complexity.
Right. And maybe beading and things like that add another layer of complexity.
Hmm.
Right.
Sure.
Um, do you do all the work yourself or do you sometimes hire some of it out?
I do all of the work myself, from pattern making to sometimes delivering 2 hours away. Um, I also teach for Edessa School of Fashion. It's a small fashion college here in Milwaukee. And we have a runway show every year that I always show in. And that's drag centric as well. Um, and my number one assistant, my daughter, will come and help me
Oh, that's great.
instruct. Yeah.
That's really fantastic. Um, I have taught also in at a fashion college, and it's definitely another thing that we probably need to talk about here on my YouTube channel is teaching the next generation how to do it
Hmm.
right. It's so important.
Yep,
And
absolutely. We have to keep this alive.
yeah, and it's probably like for me, it's really rewarding as well. And for you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll pick up sewing machines at Goodwill and refurbish them, teach somebody how to sew, give them a machine. It's so important to me that this art stays alive. And it's been around for how long? And you see the machination of these, everything is industrialized and we lose that hands-on art. And that's so important to me that that's something that stays alive.
Yeah, it kills me that people don't quite understand that even though it's made in a factory, even though it's
Hmm.
industrialized, there's still a lot of people behind it
Oh, absolutely.
who are making it. Do you have a favorite kind of costume that you like to make?
I like anything that when the client proposes it to me, I say, oh, yes, absolutely. But I'm terrified. Every day is a learning experience. Give me a strange shape, make it need to do something, make it need to move, make it need to transform, light up. Um, that's my favorite. I love a challenge.
Do you have a favorite costume that you've made or one that you're super proud of?
Oh, oh my gosh, there are so many. Um, Based on there's an artist, and I hate that I can't remember their name right now, that one of my clients found on Instagram. We made a life-size lava lamp that lights up.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. um I've had, oh god, there are so many. And for so many different reasons.
Now, do you have an ideal client?
um a client with a big imagination, deep pockets doesn't hurt. I
Yep.
love when I ask what their budget is and they tell me not to worry about it. And it's like, all right, we're going to have some fun. But big ideas, excitement for what they do, a well-defined persona, someone who's not afraid to push buttons a little bit. Yeah, drag is like the biggest freedom that you can have in costuming. And I love to push that envelope.
Um, how does it compare like working with brides? And do you ever work with brides?
I have done quite a bit of bridal recently. Um, I love working with brides. I only work with people that I know very well and people that I care about enough to do their wedding dress. I like a bride that doesn't want to look like your cookie cutter bride. I've made a blue wedding dress because when she was proposed to, there was a blue stone in the ring and she found the perfect fabric. So that dress had to fit the botanical gardens that she got married in, and it had to match her ring and it had to have that feel. I did my daughter's wedding dress. She wanted to be Cinderella. I've recently done a wedding dress for one of our ballerinas. Her mom got married in 91. She gave me her very 1991 wedding dress and I modernized it for her. So it's it's pretty much the same as my drag clientele. Bring me an idea. Let's make a spectacle.
Oh, that's fantastic. Um, your daughter wanted to be Cinderella.
Yes, and she was.
So was it like the blue Disney costume, or was it?
No, her gown was ivory.
Mhm.
It was covered in metallic gold, tiny little metallic gold stars.
Wow.
Um, there were 700 yards of ruffles in the petticoat.
Oh my God.
13 yards of the most delicious taffeta in the skirt itself,
Wow.
fully corseted. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. 15-foot veil.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I hope my daughter someday maybe lets me make her wedding gown.
Oh, that was such a treat. It had a full steel cage underneath it. And I told her, you're not going to get close enough to him, for your first kiss. And she said, I've kissed him already. Make it bigger.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, no,
Well,
she was an absolute princess.
that's
Beautiful.
amazing. Uh, I totally lost my train of thought thinking about that. Actually, like having that big gigantic princess dress, it sounds like a dream. What's the best way for people to connect with you?
Facebook is probably the easiest place to find me, either on my Lyn Kream Designs page, and that is attached to my personal Facebook page as well. You can find me on Instagram under Lyn Kream's Designs. Um, and I need to be better about updating my sadly ignored website. But yes, if you Google me, you can find me.
I had one more question that is related to drag. Have you ever done a drag bride? Like a bride who wanted to get married in drag, or a groom?
Well, so one of my first regular clients, who's a drag client, got married, and he and his husband, I made their wedding clothes. They were masculine appearing, but those were some drag costumes. They were brocade, silver, purple, and turquoise brocade with
Oh,
more diamonds than you know what to do with.
that's amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That's
So
so
it wasn't necessarily a bride, but it was definitely that was drag.
And then do you have any advice for beginning drag costume designers?
Drag Race is not the end all be all of everything. They're local drag queens first. Support your community, become a community, listen. Don't try to interject yourself. Like I said, these are personas that they have cultivated and honed, and we as artists are there to celebrate their art as well, help them along on their journey. Um, Learn everything. Please pattern. Please learn to pattern. It's not tubes with sleeves. Don't do that.
Yeah, it sounds like you have, and every body is probably totally different. So
Absolutely. And everybody is beautiful.
mhm,
Don't chase just the stick skinny models. Big girls need love too.
mhm. That's fantastic.
And I carry that in all aspects of design, whether it be the ballet company, all bodies are beautiful, dances for everybody. My brides, all bodies are beautiful, formal, and drag queens as well.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Lynn, for talking with me today. It's been great learning more about the job of drag costume designer. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's can't believe that, what 18-year-old me did for fun on a Saturday night has become a really, really rewarding career.
I think that's a great thing to remember too, and to tell people out there that it can become a career and it can be really fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's fun as long as you make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, have a great day and thank you again.
Thank you so much.
That was a great interview with Lyn Kream. I really enjoyed learning about the job of drag costume designer. It seems like a career filled with tons of creativity and endless possibilities. I've linked all of Lyn's contact information below in the show notes, so take a look if you're interested. We'll probably be doing a blog post about her as well, and so that you can see some of her work. And if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe. It really helps us out. If you want more information on our fashion studies program, such as draping, fashion design, fashion illustration, and fashion sewing this coming fall, um, go to our website at thesewingroom.alameda.com/fashion-studies, all lowercase. Until next time, happy sewing, everyone. Bye-bye.